AITA for cutting off contact with my ex after she baby-trapped me and demanded child support years later? 17 years ago today, my ex and I were together. At that point it had been over 5 years of being together and we both were approaching 30. She had been badgering me to propose to her back then, and I intended to marry her, but I felt it was not the right time. I wished to achieve a higher salary and close on some other commitments before tying the knot. This used to really piss her off. Since I was under the belief that she had an IUD, we engaged in sex sans condom all the time. I was surprised to learn she was pregnant and genuinely thought her IUD had failed. She confessed to me that she had her IUD removed and did not tell me about it because she thought that having a baby would knock some sense into me from moving mountains before I intended to settle down with her and thought we would elope and start a life together. Before any ignorant fools tell me why I did not wear a condom, I did, for 2 years, and post that she had an IUD which she initiated the discussion for. And to answer why I still didn't wear condom, because I anticipate some kid's victim blaming me here, the reason is, I did not expect my ex to break my trust and have sex with me without my informed consent. She breached my trust and I broke up with her. She threw a big stink about me not wanting to marry her but eventually apologized to me and expressed her regret after going through some self-reflection by herself a few weeks. She decided that since this child wasn't wanted by me, she was not going to take child support from me, and since she is from a wealthy family she can raise her child by herself. I cut off contact with her and a few months after my job sent me to EU. I am married to my wife here with 2 children and my wife knows about my ex and her child. Recently, my ex contacted me and told me that her family business suffered a loss and now have a modest life and how they won't fund her son's education in college. She said her son resents her for not setting up a college fund by suing me then for child support and she is contacting me to fight for her child's right. I told her that I have no plans of being back in the US and to stay away from my family here and to stop dreaming about what ifs. I checked and the country I live in has no clear arrangements for custody laws. Blocked her so that she can rage by herself. I don't think I am an because given that I have moved on with my life it is important to keep intruders away from my family and harm my own kids here because they deserve to be financially protected. I will always prioritize my wife and my daughters here. AITA? ETA. A small clarification about the legal process in case I ever get to. I always knew that my ex was a better communicator over text than in conversation, so it wasn't too difficult to get her to spill the beans about her lying about the said situation, with her apologizing as well. Her tone didn't instantly get angry and about trying to fight for her child's right, she was quite civil at first. My wife actually guided me on how to preemptively collect some kind of a text message proof, so that's actually isn't a problem. Secondly, her child's birth certificate does not carry my name. Although there was no legal contract on termination of parental rights because I didn't think I would need it, there are Yahoo mails, oh sweet aughts, that date back to that time that record what we both intend to do moving forward and her detailing the entire situation. Maybe that's as good as the legal contract. Lastly, one of the more solid proofs would be to get the clinic to testify in case they need to verify the date on which her IUD got removed, because the child was conceived around a few weeks late. Plus I guess baby trapping is a crime here, and I am a citizen now so law here will definitely try to protect me. Update. Alright, everyone. I understand that my post has garnered a lot of attention and I am grateful that a lot of people came to my support. Thank you so much for validating my perspective and empathizing with my situation. I know that a lot of people also disagreed with me and that's okay, I came to hear all sides. I think it might be unfair to this sub, but people calling him my son does strike a nerve with me and instantly makes me feel nauseous and violated. I may not have come across as overly emotional because being in that state of mind on this website can be bad and taking things personally isn't something I wanted to do. So at first I thought and explained in a very clinical way as to why the child I share DNA with isn't my son, because I don't consider him family in spirit just as sperm donors aren't obligated to owe them a relationship or financial support. Plus, sperm donors still consent to donating their DNA, so there's that. In my eyes, I am not punishing anyone. It's really not my responsibility to fix the mistakes of his mother. I feel bad, I really do, but my responsibility extends to my family, my wife and my kids, my 2 daughters. Yes, the child is innocent. And I feel bad for him tbh for what my ex did. But honestly, the child being innocent doesn't negate the fact that the child existing in the first place is the bigger problem here. We were both wronged. There was a breach of trust involved and I don't think this is a competition of who has it worse as a victim. And I definitely don't think I should get shit for not wanting anything to do with the said kid. I had no choice in creating or considering him a family member, I am simply an unwilling sperm donor. I didn't emote a lot through my post, but let me share something I couldn't face for a long time. guilt, betrayal, loss, and shame. Yes. It took me years to come to terms with the fact that I wasn't guilty here. And shouldn't feel guilty. I felt violated for a long time. Still do sometimes. Therapy wasn't very accessible back then, so it was a difficult, a very dark phase of my life. My responsibility are my family, my daughters, and I don't want to cut their share to accommodate someone I had no choice in creating. I feel terribly insecure of ever having to thwart their lives for someone unwanted. I used to get nightmares and stayed away from dating a long time because I felt women were untrustworthy, but that was just the darkness speaking. I clearly found my one true love, and now with 2 lovely girls, I have a deeper appreciation for women in my life. Her contacting me brought that shame and guilt and loss of control and helplessness back, and I felt so helpless all over again. I started a new life here in EU, and I am content with how things are with me.